Hello and welcome to one more session at Conf42 Cloud Native 2025. I'm excited to welcome you again for the second year in a row. And today I'm having a very special session for all of you fellow cloud enthusiasts, for the cloud integrators, cloud developers, cloud engineers, and just for anyone who wants to power their company with the power of communication which can be provided with the Amazon Simple Email Service. It's a Netrunner's guide to AWS SES hacking communication barriers, and I'm excited to have you here. But first of all, servus from Vienna. And I would like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Dmytro Hlotenko. I am a cloud engineer of API, and how my colleagues like to say, Mr. Amazon. I'm an AWS community builder, and I'm a user group leader in Vienna. I'm also speaker of community days, local user groups. So AWS community is my favorite part, and this is why I'm doing this speech again for you. I have a master's in telecommunications. I have a bachelor in the business management, and I have tried lots of different things in IT, and I'm so happy that I have an opportunity to land here in cloud and do all these exciting things to power business logics, to achieve success together, to share this knowledge, and to build really massive things with a social impact. And yeah, I started with the games, I tried it with networks, backend development, lots of interesting things. But with AWS, I'm since 2000, and in AppID, I'm running and operating our AWS environment. I'm assisting with the software development using cloud technologies. I'm planning infrastructure, I'm planning architectures, I'm performing the maintenance, I'm advocating the cloud in the company. So this is why it's so important for me, because it's really a thing that I love to do, and for now it's a part of my professional life. Currently, I'm holding 6 Amazon certificates, also the Terraform one and the other ones, and hopefully for the next Conf42 I would be sitting in the golden jacket. And on my private life, yes, I really like theaters, but I'm a big motorsport fan and a photography hobbyist, but also a big IT geek and IT engineer in the heart. So quickly about AppIT, we are one of the most biggest and well-known Austrian media companies, because we are having a backbone. We are running all the media production for the biggest Austrian media, not only Austrian, but also for the partners in DACH and Switzerland. And also we are providing IT services, software development, and basically we are doing everything to power our journalists and communication colleagues to keep going, to deliver a great business value. And we are doing lots of different interesting things. We have critical systems, we have different engineering approaches. So it's a very non-standard topic, and I'm very thankful for AppTech for all the support and opportunity, also to have a good reason to present it here. And yeah, so let's go straight to the point. I would like to ask you, so how do you think is the success achievable if we are not communicating? Definitely not. So in this presentation, I would like to build around the philosophy about the idea that communication that doesn't just send, it delivers. It delivers your meaning, your opinion, your knowledge, your brand, your solution, your business offering. You can deliver the words to someone you love, but how to do this from the cloud perspective, and what you must take into account if you're working with the Amazon SES. I would like to touch the most important things when you are starting to working with Amazon SES, because this is a simple email service, but some of the things they can be overlooked or just can be found out with the hours of working. And as I have mentioned on the previous slide, currently I'm sending over 500,000 emails daily for the different systems, for the different customers, for the different purposes, marketing, transaction, whoever like kind of emails. And I would like to sharpen your attention on the security triangle, which is important for configuration. We will have a look on the metrics which are possible to make the maximum from the AWS SES usage, and the most important, how you as a developer, as a cloud architect, can approach the most efficient sending that you can get out of Amazon SES. So let's just quickly have a look all together on the email sending. Actually, well, email itself seems to be easy, but it's not. First of all, let's look from the business perspective. If you have an efficient communication, you're a step ahead of your competitors. You're able to push your product more efficiently. You're able to stay in communication. You know what is happening. And actually, with that, we are also doing in App, we are monitoring your company, whatever, what is related. We can push your things. And for us, so the opportunity to deliver things, it's a core value of all of our business structure from the beginning till the top. And from the first picture, we would like it's a normal situation in the DACH countries. Every time I receive a mail in Germany, especially for expats like me, it's a huge stress to have this paper later. Is it efficient? Is it not? So I think not all of us like the bureaucracy, and here, since we are building money, it's important to have an efficient business. And thankfully, Amazon says it's a best solution that can power you to do this and have your speech delivered. What is another important? Sadly, not all the people in our world are fair. That's why we have a very famous spam can, and here I will pass you through the essential things that you have to perform to have your message delivered. Otherwise, you will end up in the spam folder, and personally, I don't want to have you in this situation. And what is also important here, I will provide you example how you can convert the statistics to the information which is representative for your manager, from your product owner, and for the people who are not even touching the cloud topics. And the most important here, I like developers, they are all my favorite people. And here we will cover how you, like a cloud architect, you can make their life easier. So let's quickly proceed to the general overview of the SES. So we are using it in the core applications that we run in AppIT. We use it for AppOTS, our brand new picture service AppApix. We use it in our analytics platform. We use it for the colleagues in Germany for the Press Monitor and lots of other things. That's why we are having already, like I would say, even 4 or 5 years of SES in production. So, and what I admire the SES a lot, that it's a very reliable thing if you know how to approach it. And when it comes to the integration, SES is very flexible because you can approach it like a normal email sending backend that you are just using SMTP. Either what actually we did in Appa, for example, our Media Contact Plus is fully built around on the single service. So the core of the whole business platform is Amazon SES, and everything the rest is just the lyrics because to form the final product. And what is important from the SES, you are not just performing the blind sending of the things. You have events, you can form out the metrics out of it, and you just need to come to it, take these metrics, and then you have a full opportunity, whatever your business desires, to interpret this data. And and regarding the robust integration, what the SES is actually is a very good example if you are new to the cloud and you would like to perform event-based systems, or you would like to try the message broking or message streaming, message processing, or any kind of serverless, and SES actually can be a good start point for your pet project. And what I really like that you can work out different examples, and it's a really well-known case, so you don't have to go to the databases, see what is happening, or you just working with a measure things which is on the probably basic level of understanding. And it's very good. But the most of the challenges that are coming with the Amazon SES is simple ML service is just too simple. So here you are having the full responsibility as a cloud architect, as a cloud engineer, to take your responsibility and use what is provided by the service. As I already mentioned in my previous presentations, if you're familiar or not, I'm always considering AWS as a Swiss Army knife, and it gives you too many things like a Lego blocks that you can combine to achieve your business value. And SES is providing the bare minimum. It sends you, it does the sending, and it gives you opportunity to interact with it. And later, I will show you a few examples for interaction. So, as I mentioned, it's basically to start sending, it does not require much. You can be ready in probably half an hour, and you can just start sending, but you need to get understanding of the metrics. You have to make sure you're compliant to perform the sending, and you are not having much out of the box. Recently, Amazon, they provided Virtual Reliability Manager. They also introduced a tool to verify configuration. They also made SES able to also receive messages. But here, this presentation is mostly focused from sending the information from you. So, as I mentioned before, SES integrates with different systems. We even integrated solutions which are running on premises or third-party applications or custom solutions. So SES is able to act on any layer of your architecture. For us, rate limiting, which is normal for APIs that Amazon provides, it's not a stress anymore, and I will share this. This was very long search for the last time frame, and there are a few approaches that I'm happy to share with you, and we can see what are the status of our sendings. We control the bounces, and for us the most important to have the message delivered, and SES provides you an opportunity to analyze the customer satisfaction. And since we are able to monitor the activities, we are responding very fast to delivery issues. We can manage the suppression. Applications are able even to control the status of the sending. So what is provided by the simple service is not simple, it's great, and it gives you lots of opportunities. So let's start with the SES. So what I would like to take attention. So you must get an understanding what you will be sending. Yeah, and if you are working with a business or you integrating to your application, it's important to consider either you have access to the email verification, either you would verify the domain. My personal recommendation is that you're verifying the domain. First of all, you have more opportunities to ensure that you have a bit better deliverability, it's more professional, and you can use different, basically all the subdomains, all the names, whatever you like, and you're flexible, so you don't have to come back to the console. So you have to think that how much do you send, where do you send, how are you sending, because it's very important to work with the basic metrics that Amazon provides. Amazon gives you the sending limit, Amazon is providing you the statistics for your complaint rates, bounce rates, and it's very important to comply with it. And regarding the sandbox, if you are starting with the SES, you are having the sandbox. Our practice is that we are keeping the test environment in the sandbox. Production, of course, goes to the production. But it's very important for Amazon, when you're coming to the support, to save your time, to save the time of the fellow colleagues, please come with a text about your use case. Please express what are you going to do, what is there, why do you need the SES. Please provide the example of the mail. Please provide some information on your business. If you will provide all these details, it's important. And another important I think is that your email body is containing the unsubscribe link. So you're following the fair usage of the SES, and then you're able to get pretty stable and get a reliable sending out of it. So if you're communicating out of the sandbox, you must fully express what is your case, and you don't try to fool them because it hurts the account reputation, it hurts everything. Please be transparent, express the business value, how are you used. So all the information as much as you can is very important. And then you can get out of the sandbox. And then if you have good statistics, you can have a higher sending rate, you can have higher sending limits. And to be honest, even for their higher sending limits, it requires some strengths with the support communication. For example, even one big customer of us, I had to convince for a few times the support that they need the bump. So yeah, please take it seriously. And yeah, actually, why I'm talking about it, this is a real life screenshot of my Outlook spam folder that I took yesterday when I was preparing and finalizing the slides. So we can see that we have a narrative, which is a cool startup. They have an amazing solution for the photo selection. Bona is a store where I buy some things. Erste Bank, thank you very much for keeping my money still. Yeah, and we have Luminar now, the fellow colleagues actually, who have amazing also photo solution, because I like photography. And it's very sad. All this information is staying in the spam folder, and if I would not check the spam, I would forget about the narrative, I would forget about the Luminar now, because those people, they are coming to you telling, hey, we have these features, we want to know the feedback, we want to know that our product is developing, but you cannot hear it. Why? And it's a crucial point about SES application, but I will tell you now that when you're coming for the SES, and you first of all must get ready everything, that what you're sending, how are you sending, from what, where, and I really would like you to avoid the situations like here. This is why we'll have the next slides. So what is amazing about the SES that it's pretty flexible, and you can generate the normal SMTP credentials that you can use in Thunderbird, and actually you can use Thunderbird for the testing of SMTP credentials, and before you put it to the actual application and or things. There is a big manual on the Amazon documentation that telling you actually how to create this SMTP credentials. You must put through to the console, and we don't like hiccups. Actually, my user group colleague Linda Mohammed, her main speech is that from the kickops to the DevOps, and I don't know, all the fellow colleagues, they are Terraform based, they're automative CI/CD, AWS SDK, whatever you like, and I really would like to share one thing. If you scan this QR code, you will have a CloudFormation template that you can easily convert to Terraform if you like. I know you can do it. And probably there is another talk about the Terraform that provides you the CloudFormation template for the infrastructure for SES SMTP credentials. So you don't have to pass through the cancel. You can even, for example, integrate it with Secrets Manager. You can perform the rotation, and you can allow your applications that are you running on AWS to fetch these credentials. So it's pretty secure, fully automated, and you're like mitigating the part of that you're doing a mistake in the console. And actually what you must do, SFTP is a very minor option, but what you have to do is to use AWS API, because SES provides you opportunity to read the metrics. If you're working with the message IDs, you can get information about your sending. If you can use all the third-party services provided by this inside of the SES. And so, and you can basically perform the complete integration of Amazon SES, like a complete backend layer inside of your application. And also what is good to consider to use the IAM user separation with the least privileges, as it has to be done, but you are opening the full potential. If you're using SES with the SMTP, you're limiting yourself, but SMTP usage is an opportunity if you need to show the reliability manager and if you have to copy the email that you are sending. Because in our case, what we are doing, we are using the shadow copy in the CCC, and basically we are sending it back to this another address, and then we store the copy of the message on the S3. And it allows us, together with the logs that we are storing from the SES, to analyze any kind of situation. So in any case, you must consider both approaches, and but your plan A is to use the API. So what is important? Now you have your domain, you have your application. Everything in the SES starts with the validation. You cannot even start coming out from the sandbox, because you need to maintain your sending, try out the sending to see how it behaves, and you have only 72 hours. Why? Because when you create the identity, you have 72 hours for validation. Then the keys will expire. So let's go through what Amazon is giving to you. When you're creating the identity, Amazon provides you for the mail with the DKIM keys, which are validating that this domain really belongs to you. And what is also important is to use the custom mail from that you are separating the sending to the special part of your domain, which is fully intended to be verified for the usage with the Amazon SES. And I jumped out. Actually, regarding the DKIM, you have an opportunity to use the easy DKIM when Amazon generates the keys just for you, and you have an opportunity to bring your own. But since we are working with hundreds of the customers, and I'm basically in some weeks I'm doing these verifications daily, easy DKIM is all way to go, because Amazon manages the keys. You don't have to rotate it. We have a 248-bit key, which is 3 parts of the key, and they are rotated. So just use the easy DKIM. Coming back to the custom mail from, so it's a very crucial point, and you must use it because all of enterprises, they have either Gmail, they use Microsoft 365, and it's one of the important metrics for verification, for the alignment with the SES, that you are saying, okay, this is Amazon SES, I know I give it my domain, and it can sending the emails out of it. And what is Amazon is not disclosing then when you're doing the just a normal verification by email. You must just also perform this thing on your domain if it, for example, email belongs to you and not for the Gmail one, or I don't know, Outlook, Yahoo, Hotmail, GMT, Uckernet, whatever you use. Yeah, and this is crucial. And so also what is important is to provide the SPF. It performs the alignment for this, and you're also giving permission to Amazon SES to perform the sending. And one of the practices for domain validation that we have done is that we are using like a subdomains, because it allows you to comply with, for example, some of the enterprise's security policies, and have the SES configuration separate and isolated just for the SES, and does not have any kind of influence on the main domain, which is used for the normal sending, for example, from the employees who have the Outlook on this domain. Yeah, and one of the latest parameters, which is the most interesting, is to use DMARC. And regarding the DMARC, so extremely important to have it, because what Dmytro is doing. So for example, I'm Dmytro, and there is another guy who looks very familiar to me, and he claims to be me because, yeah, I think background is not that bad. And yeah, but for reality, Dmytro says, well, this guy, he has a like kind of signature that he's Dmytro. This another guy, he cannot be Dmytro. And Dmytro, for example, every email that are coming from me, it validates it that it really comes out from me, and I give permission. And for example, Dmytro can be approached in a few different examples. That either you any kind of, yeah, you can apply Dmytro to some percentage of the emails, which is a good practice when you are just starting with the SES, when you are debugging it, when you're trying out how stable is your delivery rate, if you are satisfied or not. And you can also then make it more strict. But what is important for when you're validating SES on the subdomain, that you're using the keys, as you see on this slide, that you are able to segregate the configuration from the main domain. You can also define different parameters, feedback, and if someone tries to spoof, you get notified. And Dmytro is extremely important to get with a custom mail from for successful delivery. And okay, it's very nice we have done it, but how can we ensure that it's correctly? And I would like to express my kudos to the owners of the mailtester.com. It's a truly amazing tool, one of the best from which we all have tried. So you are having your SES in place, domain validated, you wait it 72 hours, you either have access to your DNS, because you have to put the DNS records, either you can do it yourself on your domain, or you can, if you use Route 53, it's even easier. You can, mail tester gives you email, you perform the sending, and then you see if you have the headers aligned, if your template is fine, because you can use also templates with the SES and just fill in the data with the JSON inside of your application, and just to debug all your sending and expose the potential issues with the validation before you start the real life backend production sending. So, and since I'm more oriented on developers today, I would like one crucial point to tell you about it. SES out of the box, it's not compatible with the Apple. Apple actually, they're doing great things, I really like them, but there is an amazing feature called Apple Private Relay, when you can hide your email, real email, from some shady applications, shady services. And by default, if you just send to the relay, you will have a bounce. And you don't want to have a bounce because you might still communicate with your customer, and you will have your suppression list. Actually, this is a list that stores all the bounced or unreachable identities that we are taking care, and I will tell you later how. And so it basically means that SES is not delivering any messages. What is important is to go to the, after you have set up your domain, custom mail from, you are going to Apple Developer Console. If you, for your application, you are giving a permission for private relay, please refer to the Apple documentation because it's not Apple conference, and you align it. In some cases, if you missed it, you can write a lambda to clean up the suppression list, for example, using Pluto 3, and to include to search any emails with the private relay, and because you cannot do it quickly through the console, there is no buff selection, that's why you have to do lambda. But it's very important to tell to Apple in your developer console that you are using SES and validate those information. So the main custom mail from, and also provide the SPF. So going forward, yeah, when you're working with the SES, you might see when you're browsing at the console that you are having some already pre-built metrics. It's not enough. That's why it's important to work with the events and to make them set up a logging, form the CloudWatch dashboards, form the metrics. But out of the box, SES uses this kind of metrics. So, for example, like a bounce rate, complaint rate, delivery rate. Delivery rate, I think it's very easy to maintain. It's mostly tricky to handle with the bounce rate. But if you are working, for example, you are sending out from the database, and yeah, so some of the emails can be already like outdated or something happens, you can refer to the logs, kick it out from the suppression list. So the main strategy from complaint and bounce rate that you are analyzing your logs, you are alarming yourself, and you have to maintain this level. Please be fair, because out of the box, AWS SES is sending from the shared IP pool. A shared IP pool is some pools that Amazon has in Ireland, in the United States, in Frankfurt, in any kind of the regions that are sharing your sending rate capacity, and also you are sharing the reputation with the other users of the SES. Yes, you can have the dedicated IP, but But going forward to the dedicated IPs, it's an option for the big enterprises. And I would say that for your startup, for your private usage, for your application, if you're below the 100,000 emails daily, then you're absolutely fine with the shared pool. You can have some nasty things because, for example, Google performs throttling of SES emails time to time, and we noticed it. Then we receive a copy to our App server immediately, and to the Gmail that arrives in 15 minutes. Yes, it's very nasty, but you cannot predict it. And every time you're working with different SES identities. But if you're at enterprise, you can have a dedicated IP that you manage yourself, or managed IP and by Amazon. Price difference is only $15 and $20 monthly. I would opt in for managed IP, but you still have to maintain consistent sending. So you're established organization, you know what are you doing. You have a complete control over your reputation, but you must use third-party tools to control your presence in the backlist. Amazon provides you IP since you know that IPv4 pool is already exhausted ages ago. And so you have to check yourself, because sometimes for some stupid reasons you can get inside of the blacklist, and then your sending is taken away from you because some enterprise scanners, I don't know, like Icarus, Symantec, or whatever else is on the market, they are taking into account those blacklists, and you have to control it. Amazon does not provide it, but there are enough tools. You can even script it yourself. We have our own because it's already been a while. So, but when you're starting with a dedicated IP, another important thing is that you are pre-warming the IP. You are not jumping, I would say, like a lion on this IP, sending million emails to the whole world. I don't know, like I love you or whatever you like to say. You start slowly. You send 2,000 emails weekly, 5, 10, 15, 20. You can have, for example, what we did for one of our customers. We separated their sending on the different SES accounts in their organization, and for example, we use shared pool for the smaller branches in the another countries, and for the Austrian branch, we started in some hybrid mode to send some parts with the dedicated IP, some parts with another one. And so please have a look on the slide, but you can start slowly, but it's a good option if you are established enterprise. And so going to my favorite part, which is actually a core of this, why I wanted to make this presentation. Please don't forget that Amazon is a cloud platform, and it's intended to be for professionals. If you need to easily send the emails, you can use the MailChimp, but MailChimp is not a professional solution. It's not that flexible with the SES. And if you're working with a AWS SDK for Java, Go, Kotlin, Python, whatever you like, and there are lots of languages, it doesn't matter. Please don't go directly to the send mail API. You could ask me, Dimo, why? Because there is a function, just throw it and it will send it, and everything is good. No, it's not good, because it's a plain call without of any protection, without of anything. So yes, you are doing the call, and if you are complying with your rate limit, if you are complying with all your service limits, which is provided for your account, so you can send it, you will have luck, it will work. But after some time, when you will grow, you will notice that I'm having some delivery issues. Emails are gone, emails are missing, but why? Because you're hitting the API throttling. And core idea, so for the next few slides, is that we are approaching the rate limit, and rate limiting is especially important because actually this is the amount of power that Amazon gives you to work with the SES, because without the rate limit you cannot send anything. And so just don't do it like this. I will tell you how to do it. So, and just some more details about the send limit. It's a bit confusing because I got different responses from my account manager in Amazon. I got different responses from the AWS premium support. We also recorded and observed different behavior, and also Claude, whatever you use, I don't know, your AI preferences. So the truth is that you can send one email object, for example, and your rate limit will be counted from the number of recipients on the point of time 1 second. So if your limit is 32, for example, you can send in 1 second one email that contains 30 recipients and second email that has 2. If you go over, there is a small burst of send limit, but no one knows, even AWS documentation doesn't reflect how big is it. You'll hit the API limit. Yes. And you must take in account this is a crucial value, and it's your capacity that you can plan in your application for the sending. So, and if you look on the rate limiting, I would see the two perspectives. We either perform the logical separation from it, so we like, like some butter on the bread, or we are approaching the capacities that, for example, when you're establishing the relationship with your partner, you're coming and you're working with this. And if we talk about the capacity slicing, this is what I mentioned before about our customer. This is actually one of the approaches. We have a service that works for the different regions and with the different identities. And for example, we say for Austria, Germany, we say we send from this identity in this account 30 emails per second. For example, I don't know, Ukraine, we are sending 15, from another account, from United States 1, or United Kingdom 10, or Switzerland also 20. So this is a logical separation of the shared pool. But because for the higher rate, you need to use 4 or 5 dedicated IPs, and it costs money because it's already, it could be $150, $200, and for redundancy, you always have to do with at least 2. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. And yeah, so, and approaching your limit is about our work of the cloud architects with the also together with fellow programists. And yeah, we have tried different approaches. Lots of said on the internet, but here I would like to combine 2 main pathways. So this case, it's the most easy. Some of them people call it leaky bucket. That you are defining the capacity with who you are throwing the emails. The problem is that it's not flexible approach. It's basically shrinks you in this limit, and you cannot get more of the SES that you could potentially send on the unit of the time. Yeah, and for example, what we are doing, so when we know it's for the applications that we're working with one single recipient. So for example, we have a rate limit of 30, and the application is working in SES, whatever you like with the 2 pods, 2 workers for the application. We are hard coding the limit 15 by 50, and we are chunking all the recipients inside of application that, for example, we have to send 20 emails and we have only 15 per bot. Bot creates a chunk of 10 and 5, and using precision timers like Resilience4j for Java or Leaky Bucket for Python, you are doing the sending. And the good point is that you are basically decorating the standard SES API calls and you are sending. The problem is that, for example, in auto-scaling systems, this approach would require some expansion, taking into account the limit. It's additional work. And there is still a chance that you can hit the throttling because if something goes wrong, for example, if some connection is broken, or if you are missing something happened, you are still losing your email. It's a good approach when you have repeatable pattern of sending, and it's a very good approach when you are having just one scenario and it's pretty stable, so you can do it. It's actually already must be a case of it's already the basic usage of the SES that you are saving yourself from the potential API throttling. So this is the scenario 1. Then I started to look around for some approaches. Yeah, as I said, it's all of our dear community members who are working with the serverless. We are moving the sending logics to the cloud. And it's also good from the perspective that, for example, for us, you are having the unified sending platform, and you don't have to re-implement the same things a few times in the code or maintain some custom library. You are just abstracting the sending to the cloud level, not from your application level. And here, so we already have the SQS QE with the dead letter QE. Actual sending is performed from the Lambda. Here it's called heartbeat, but it's not the heartbeat. It's actually just performs the sending in the code. Yeah, and here you can see it also expands for the event processing. I will mention it a bit later. So yeah, and the good approach is that you already have a chance to do the resending if something happens, and you are pretty safe because you can ask Lambda to consume the messages in the rate which will comply with your current rate, and Lambdas can also scale. So, and before it was not a thing, and yeah, with this approach you already have some baseline reliability. The drawback is that you have to implement the actual SES logics in your Lambda rather than going directly with the library. But you are just migrating the code from your application to the Lambda. And yeah, so it's one of the things. And it was very nice, and it was already working because it improves additionally the reliability of the sending. And then I started to think, okay, like we are sending with the Lambda. Lambda could run a few different, I don't know, 20, 50, 100 of the Lambdas. For example, if we have a sending rate of 100, but we have one Lambda working in 1 second, it's still like oscillating until the full capacity of our sending limit. And what is also important is that, there is still a chance to go over the limit if something goes wrong, because if you miss some fine tuning or you have some unexpected behavior. So I started to think, first of all, I thought about the time. Thankfully, the good fellow colleague from AWS, Dmytro, actually he's on the left on the picture, third from the left, and I'm also in this picture in the white t-shirt. So he wrote a very nice article how you can use the step functions for precise triggering of the Lambda functions. It's a first point. Then Mark Richman and Guy Lowley, they expressed a few additional approaches for the sending. So, and then I hit a word from Michael Har, who also pointed out it's a very creative approach for usage of the features of AWS services. What he did use the AWS Lambda concurrency, and basically he's feeding the emails to the SPS feed. And Lambdas are launching as much, for example, for the sending limit 50, he can approach 50 Lambdas, but there is another problem. It goes back to the first solution that I told you about, that you are working only with one recipient, and you have to ensure this. We have different cases, and I started to think, okay, looking to the Dennis, looking to the Mark, to the Michael and Guy, what can I do? And let's have a look. So I took all the best from those approaches, and we are creating the orchestrated pipeline for the sensing with the AWS functions in the core, because this is the pipeline that we are intended to run in 1 second, and even which precisely triggers every second. That's why I called it a heartbeat. What is important that our users are sending, application collects it, so it goes to the email queue. We are not taking those emails for sending directly. We are taking them, we are reading the recipients, and we are dynamically, with the heartbeat, we are changing the Lambda concurrency. So we are delegating, as I mentioned before, for example, 20 here, 5 here, 5 here, then we are baseline on the limit. So I think you got the idea that in the 1 point of second, we have dynamic situation that it's adjusting based on the email flow that we have. We cannot exceed the rate limit. We are filling the capacity. We are mitigating the latency, which comes it could be very noticeable, especially in the first and second case. And so we are keeping the rhythm like in the Brazilian dance or whatever you prefer of the sending, and it's dynamic based on the service what you are sending, and you don't have to perform the chunking. You're basically sending the thing for the sending, and it takes care of you. It can be complex. It may require some additional programming, additional setup, but this is the idea what we are currently started recently to use, and we are excited that, for example, before we were sending about 900 emails to the customers in case of some special case. It's our broadcast list saying that basically, there is an info for you. And it was taking a few minutes. With this approach, we can do it in a few seconds because we are just filling the full capacity with the copies of the emails with lots of recipients. And going back to the solution from the Michael Har, so please Google it. If you know that you're sending one email, you can go with a rate limiting in your code, either with this solution. If you're having more advanced cases, please build something like this. You will really like it because you don't have to stress. So you don't have to come to your manager and say, we lost the emails. Sorry. And and this is the way you have a second chance to send it. You are utilizing the capacity. You are minimizing all the risks that by default you're having from the function of the SES, or just call this email sending. So this is most important part, and let's make some conclusion. So chunking and rate limiting, one user or one recipient, stable sending, stable pattern, no need to do cloud architecting. SQS plus DLQ is one also for this scenario, but you must be more confident that you don't lose the email. Lambda concurrency, that you want to maximize the output and limit the latency, and you're creating the heartbeat step machine because you need the dark horse. And it's actually what I mentioned in the beginning, that you're working with it like a service integration. And as I have underlined in my previous presentations, you're always considering your AWS architectures, especially the serverless one, like a waterfall. So it's a series of events, it's all flowing, and this is how are you doing it. And basically, yeah, here you're flowing the emails, you're processing it, you're using the capacity, and you're delivering a good business value. So everyone is happy. Yeah, so also another very important thing I would give you, so we are approaching to the end, sadly. I hope you still enjoy it. So that SES, as I mentioned, it has the events. Events, they are crucial. And so what is the most important thing you have to know about your email is the message ID. In the message ID, it's basically a stamp, your unique identifier of your email. So, and you can use it for as like an identity, like a passport. I don't know, I don't have it to show you. Yeah, but you know it. So that you're working with this specific email because then you can retrieve the related events. And if you're activating the events in your configuration set in the SES, you can control the delivery, you can control bounces, complaints, you can control openings, have a tracking pixels, control the links, control the diving statistics. So it's very crucial, actually, information for you from technical department, and also to have an understanding of the ROIF management. That's why SES is way cooler than any kind of mail server that just throws you the emails. And yeah, so, and you must work with the events. And the first thing that you do, you're setting up the SNS topic, you're giving the permissions, and says then proving this to the Lambda, and just please 5 lines of code. Ask Claude to do it if you don't know how. It will save your events to the CloudWatch, and then you have an opportunity to create alarms, use metric filters, to use the log insights, and you have the overview of what actually is happening with your sending. What are we also doing is that applications are knowing in the database those message ID, and then they're tracking the statuses of the emails. We use this data to actually to reflect the function of the applications, one of our applications. So just a single fetch of the opens you lots of opportunity, from the basic logging, from the observability, from the alerting, from the better understanding for the business logics, and probably also to create the data sets. And you can also, with the data that you're coming out from the SES, you can improve your user data. For example, create reports for customer success or customer care, and they can communicate with your customers, and together with the proper configuration, for example, sending approaches, you will maximize the output from actually that you're doing the sending, that you are sending the information, it gets delivered, and it's what you must do. So, yeah, I always say that AWS is a Swiss Army knife. It gives you services, it gives you tools, it gives you lots of things that you should do actually and use. And yeah, so you can construct whatever you need. You just need to couple the services. And you have basically, if you know the CloudWatch, if you know SNS, if you know SQS, DynamoDB, and if you know Lambda, and you can program, for example, in Python, you can do already like 80% of the business cases that require your AWS logics. And this is the case with the SES. So some architectural inspirations. So this is an example when we are actually sending through the SES, it records the events. What is actually very good is that, yeah, we put those events to the CloudWatch, then we are building the shared dashboard, which allows us to control the sendings for the identities, sendings rate, have a visualization of the failed recipients. So even the person who are not like familiar with AWS, you can say, hey, please come here. I have prepared for you information. You are working with the event. It converts to the readable information that delivers the value. And also, for example, there is a Lambda. What I do is here is an event bridge trigger. And once a week, it was a quick solution for our non-technical colleagues. So it comes to the logging bucket, collects, for example, all the bounces, or for example, in the events, you have lots of utilization, including technical information of the SES, information about mail body, but not the body itself. It's set. That's why we do the copies, as I said in the beginning somewhere. And yeah, so you're sending it, and we, for example, we have a report, for example, with the customers who are having failed deliveries. And since this company, the delivery of what people purchase as a core, it's very important. And it's a quick solution. Then the clever solution was that we worked together with the developers. Actually, what we were doing, we were processing with a special separate Lambda, those kind of events that are coming from the SES. And for example, I'm sending to email, I love darjoni@gmail.com. So yeah. And for example, I don't know, my email is blocked, but I have this email used in my user profile of this application provided by this company in their product. And yes, tells to the Lambda, hey, so we have this situation. Lambda makes a report to the DynamoDB. DynamoDB is amazing for this case. You don't have to run Aurora. You just do the table, use the TTL, use the selection. You can have a global table, even if you care about the latency, but it's not the case here. Through the app sync, because you can have GraphQL, you don't have to build the whole API gateway. Here we use app sync because it's just easier. And this is the crucial things about AWS, that you combine things. And yeah, so we go to the application saying, yeah, email is wrong because we know the SMTP calls to which CloudWatch reacts, and then by the metric filter we trigger the Lambda that does the process, and then user gets a banner, hey, please send to us your information. That's cool, but yeah, and we make a recording in the CloudWatch, we visualize it in the QuickSight, and QuickSight, customer team comes here, sees what's the situation, they can respond to the cases which are not processed by the customers themselves, and it's amazing. So another thing what was here that and it was for one of our things, it's also an example of the QoS usage. So when you are sending the email, you always have a recordings of different stages: sent, delivered, or bounced, complained, opened, and wanted to use this information about the email. So what we did, we have a Lambda, we are processing it to the format that we need, and we send it to the QA, and then, for example, application comes, he knows that, for example, it has information with such message ID, and it says like, yeah, that we have to do, so this message ID status is updated, and this is how we reflect this information inside of application. Yeah, for example, here, it's also another our case that we are performing the sending. We have, for example, like object of the sending, email that are spread to the customers, because in one of our applications, you can send, for example, your press release or your media information using our databases to the partners, to the companies, to the journalists in the Media Contact Plus. There are lots of them. It's very simplified. It's just for not to overload you. And the SES is already preparing the information which is used by application, which is runs in our case on the ECS. And so you don't even have to implement these logics on the application level. You can already prepare the data both for the real humans and for your application. And based on the statuses that you can fetch from the SES, you can track your limits, build the business statistics, present it for your customers, for your owners, and And the last point here is that even with non-technical familiar people, one of the amazing services is Amazon QuickSight. And in Amazon QuickSight, what you can do is, it's the best point of contact with the cloud with the non-technical people. You prepare the visualizations, you can process your data also with the ETL processors, with the Glue, or if you use Kinesis, whatever you have. So you just create the dashboards, and people are coming, like, I don't know, in Microsoft Excel, they are having filters, statistics formation, especially together with Amazon Q. They can work with the data that you're taking out of the SES, and it's very crucial for the customer to see. Training time is minimized, but QuickSight is one of the best actually things that Amazon is offering. And if you want to conjunction non-technical people with the work that you are doing, and one of the best ways is to just ship it to the QuickSight. You will really like it. So sadly, or we are approaching to the end. So if you are working with the SES configuration is a success, take care about the DMARC, take care about the SPF alignment, use the custom mail from, please separate the SES configuration from the configurations from your main domain, and actually a requirement of big enterprises. So the current spam technologies are very aggressive, and you have to take everything in account to not to destroy the value of your sending. Reputation is important. Please, you are using the shared IP pooling, then please be fair or don't break the reputation of the IPs. For example, some of the servers used in the DDoSs, they are just VPCs by some providers, but they're already blacklisted. So please use fairly what you get. Sending rate is much more important than you think, and please approach it in some ways that like I described. And if you will know a better way, please let me know. I'm always open for any discussions. And yeah, with any service, just come, architect, be creative, use the knife, combine the services, build event-based systems, build serverless systems, integrate it to your legacy applications, build the bridges, we use the API gateways, app sync. You have lots of opportunities to get maximum fit, and this is our work to do. So going to the end, I would like to thank you who is already here. So it's a pleasure. I want to thank everyone. So RPIT, Conf42 for this amazing opportunity. I really hope it's useful for you and it will give you some inspiration that you can do, that you can achieve. Please contact me on LinkedIn. Please write me emails. Please just write to me. I'm always happy. And we have a few opportunities to meet in person. Please, first of all, join me at AWS Community Day Italy on the 2nd April in Milan. And please also come to the AWS Community DAF that I'm organizing together with our Fortiferine team. And we have 30 speakers, 2 keynote speakers, lots of amazing sponsors. And it's a good opportunity to talk about the SES in person. But in general, that's it. I'm wishing you all the best in your cloud adventures. Please do the architecting, not hesitate to do the great things. You can do it. And we will meet us either online, either offsite, but in the clouds. Thank you very much. And we are going forward.